All right, everybody, put your hands together for the CSL Dallas music team. Aren't they great? And thank you for joining us today, wherever you are in the world, whether you're online in the ethers of the internet or you're here on campus. We want to say thank you for joining us. And every day is a day for transformation, spiritual deepening, and heart connection, no matter what's going on. And every day we learn and practice something important that can make a difference. We love that you're here with us today, and we want to invite you to explore the meaning of how life works with Dr. Reverend Karen Fry. Yeah, that's right. So give it up for our CSL Dallas music team as we start the day.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Now, in case you're wondering why we are here, read. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I like that. I like it. It goes like this. Everybody make a joyful noise.
Everybody make a joyful noise.
Everybody make a joyful noise. You know how to make a joyful noise. Just clap your hands and lift your voice. Everybody make a joyful noise. Come on, girl.
Everybody lift your voice and song.
Everybody lift your voice and song.
Everybody lift your voice and song.
Everybody say,
You know
lift your voice and song. You can do it, sing along. Everybody lift your voice and song. All right. Everybody clap on 2 and 4. Everybody clap on 2 and 4. Clap on 2 and 4. Make it louder even more. Everybody clap on 2 and 4.
Living big for God's the way to go.
Living big for God's the way to go.
Living big for God's the way to go.
Yeah.
Living big's the way to go. Give it up and let it flow. Living big for God's the way to go. We
Intend to make a joyful noise.
intend to make a joyful noise. You know how to make a joyful noise. Clap your hands and lift your voice. Everybody make a joyful noise.
Say that last line.
Everybody make a joyful noise.
One more.
Everybody make a joyful noise.
Salutations, everybody. Welcome to CSL Dallas on this beautiful, cool morning. I'm Bakari Issa, and I will be your platform assistant for today. All right. To begin, let's read our purpose statement together. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives. All right, and so it is. We here at CSL Dallas are so grateful for our volunteers, and we have more to honor today. Let's start with our everyday hero, Dennis Eade. Mr. Dennis Eade, please come up while I read. Dennis Eade. Dennis Eade is honored this January as our everyday hero for his longtime service to our center and community as a leader of the Office Angel team, member of the culinary team, and manager of the Lending Library, and more. Dennis came to CSL Dallas in 2011 and instantly connected with the teachings of Science of Mind and the message of Dr. Petra. Over the last 12 years, Dennis has been a regular at Sunday SOM class, taken classes, joined groups, supported events, and wore many hats as a volunteer. Each week, Dennis goes above and beyond to ensure the behind-the-scenes operations of CSL Dallas remain running smoothly. Dennis is so dependable, hardworking, caring, and passionate about CSL Dallas, the work we do, and Science of Mind. We are so grateful for you, Dennis, for your dedication to sacred service and to our community. Thank you so much. All right. Round of applause for Dennis Eade. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's recognize our MLK volunteers. We want to kick off today's announcement by saying thank you to the volunteers who made the Dream Space experience so amazing. All of your efforts really helped to make a special experience here on our campus. Okay. Slides. Our creators, Chantel Bigby, Diana Jones, Raven Woodward, Faye Abdul Salam. Okay. Volunteers, Tracy Brown, Sarah Wood, Anthony Dart, Kia Tillman, okay, Vitelli, okay, and then Frank Vitelli. Oscar Alvarez, Julia Scherer, Reverend Martha McDepour, thank you so much, and Lorraine Aguila. Okay, thanks so much. Another slide. Okay. Our ritual team, Peggy Roberts, our lead, Gary Butchmaster, Daniel Jackson, David Coleman, Sharon Rainey, Linda Taylor, and Tina Tenen. Thank you. Fine. Our culinary team, Brendan Stein, our lead, Jerry Miller, and Mark Sisko. All right, thank you. Okay. Now it's the Metro Crest. Okay. All right. So CSO Dallas is thrilled to donate $3,842 to the Metro Crest Services, which is both a 2022 and 2023 nonprofit partner of CSL. As a part of our partnership with MetroCrest Services, members of CSL Dallas volunteered at their annual holiday store, helping families in need select gifts to ensure that they would have a special holiday. Huge gratitude to CSL Dallas volunteers Chris Gallant, Project Lead, Allison Kilpatrick, Jerry Miller, Ann Reuter, Carla Smith, Carl Merlo, Shakti Bishop, Ami Eilebranch, Bill Merlo, and more. There's also a video posted on our social media that gives you a glimpse of what this wonderful organization does. Reminder, visioning class starts this week. Make sure you get to visioning starting this Monday, the 23rd. Visioning is a pathway to wisdom within. This 6-week course is designed to show you the process and give you a deeper understanding on how it works. 4-week course, okay, thank you. And for those on the path, Journey of Soul course begins late February. What is soul? How is soul connected to oneness of spirit? Dive deeper into your connection with spirit and learn to become more aware of it in your everyday life. These techniques will help you recharge your life and help you feel the presence of oneness. Sign up for all the courses at csodallas.org/education. We love staying in touch with you. Follow us on your favorite social media site, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a Google review. If you aren't getting our emails, check your junk or spam. And if you are new to us, welcome. And fill out the connection card in the chat or on the welcome table, or use the QR code in your welcome bag to stay connected. However you found us today, you are truly welcome here. That's it. Thank you.
And so now, we thank you for joining us in song as we take this to a higher place.
Spirit and I are one. 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 Spirit and I are one.
Holy, holy.
Holy, 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 holy,
invite you to join me. Close your eyes if you wish. Be here at the center in the sanctuary, on campus, or online. And let go of everything that's happened even this morning, that's going to happen later today, and release that to be open and take the advantage of being in the present moment. This very, very present moment, actually the only moment that exists in life. Be open to learning more about how life really works. Open and enjoy the Lunar New Year that's upon us. Be present. Experience love and experience this expression that you are, this unity that you are with the One. Just as you are birthed, as we are birthed from parents, if any animal form, any life form is birthed from something, we are actually birthed from the source of life itself. And how beautiful that is. We can't be separated from that. And that is the ultimate love. The ultimate love giving unto itself to experience and express this life that we live in this physical form. Let's be open to that. I open to that and let you claim with me and join with me by claiming it as so, by saying together, and so it is.
Spirit and I are one. 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 Holy, 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 holy,
Thank you very much. All right, now last week, choir, we want to thank you for coming to choir rehearsal last week. And we remember that you took everything that Mr. Gary Floyd gave us, and it's right here. So that was rehearsal, and here we go. Are you ready?
Sisters and brothers, we are family. We're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. And we carry this love everywhere that we go. Ha ha ha! We're here to love one another. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. Oh yeah, have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Bridge, we carry this love. Oh to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that
We carry this love.
we carry this love.
Oh,
We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that
we carry this love.
we carry this love.
Oh,
We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere.
stay there, stay there.
We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Stay there.
We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Last time.
We carry this love everywhere that we go.
This is my friend Cleo. And we get to do a little song for you today that is by Mr. Corey Henry, who, if you know him, he spent a great deal of time here in Dallas. And he was part of the wonderful music group Snarky Puppy that came out of here, and he went on to do bigger and greater things. But this song is about our individual possibilities. We came here, whoa, to love each other, and in so doing, do great things, right, for each other. So, we've got some more choir stuff to do here. This is called Don't Forget, people. And when you see it and when you hear it, you will know what to do. Isn't that right, choir? That's right. Here we go. Please don't forget. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sunshine don't come without rain, and that's okay. That's okay. Love ain't magic without pain, but we keep trying. We keep striving every day.
Please don't forget what you're
Living for, please don't forget what you're striving for.
oh, oh,
Time means nothing without change. So don't waste it, don't waste it. Hate is fear that is not tame. So we keep trying. We keep trying.
so please don't forget what you're
living for.
Please don't forget what you're
Striving for, please don't forget what you're living for. Please don't forget what you're striving for. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're living for. Say, don't forget what you're striving for. Don't forget what you're striving for.
Hey, hey, hey.
Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're striving for. Don't forget what you're striving for.
What you say?
Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're striving for. Don't forget what you're striving for. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget what you're striving for.
Here we go.
Striving for.
Sing.
Please don't forget what you're
Thank you very much.
Thank you, CSL Dallas House Band. Yeah. Don't forget what you're living for. Don't forget. Don't forget. All right, don't forget what our annual theme is this year. We want to remind you with this beautiful little video. Don't miss it. Thank you, Petra. She's putting me in the spot. X marks the spot. So, our annual theme, Emergence. Man, tell you what, if you haven't seen the past two talks that Dr. Petra's done, you have got to see them again and again. They've been brilliant, okay? And it's all about this annual theme about emergence. How is life emerging? How do things emerge? How do they grow? And today we're going to explore, well, how does life work? Did you take that course when you were in elementary school? This is how life works. Did you take it in high school? This is how life works. What about college? Have you taken it yet? Me neither. No, I'm kidding. And it's all about how does life work? The creative process. And we can actually understand how it, capital I-T, works, how life works. The whole process. And I think also just as important that, if not more important, is that it does, in fact, work. Without any exceptions. So, we're going to continue on this journey that Dr. Petra has so beautifully set us up for. So, the second Sunday in January, she talked about spirit. She talked about cause and what that is and what it's not. And then last week, she talked about soul. This is our teaching symbol. You see it everywhere. It's up here. It's everywhere on campus. It's in all of our materials. And she talked about law. And I loved how she brought in very clearly that we could switch out the word law with principle. And today, we're going to continue on the body. And I'm not talking about the human body. I'm talking about physical body, the matter, the effect, the form of things. Right? So Petra spent some time over the past 2 weeks making clear and differentiating between law, principle, and the spirit, right? And she talked about how spirit directs, spirit guides, and law, the principle, executes. And because spirit guides and directs, and the principle executes, creation is the result, the form, the body. Everything that we see is the effect of it, of those two things. And as she said last week, this is the Trinity. One could call it the Holy Trinity. It's the thing itself, it's the way it works, and what it does. And if you haven't been reading the first 4 introductory chapters to the Science of Mind, by goodness, read them. So, one of the ways that Ernest Holmes reduces this into the simplest of forms is with this quote. He says, to reduce the whole thing to its simplest form, it's this. Whatever one reflects into mind, that's the capital M, the thing itself, mind, spirit, tends to take form. Tends. There's a word in there.
He didn't say guaranteed. He says tends to take form. So we're going to explore that a little bit today too. How do we up the ante and ensure that it takes form? That which we want to be the form, right? So it's through the creative process. And Ernest Holmes was asked this question. He was asked, what do thoughts act upon to produce form, and how does this process work? Since he's not here, I thought I would share what he said. And he says, his answer is, thoughts act upon the universal subjective mind. Universal subjectivity. That means it's subject to the universal, the creative medium. Form, he says, is an effect of that action. So, the consequence of cause and effect is this. First, it's pure intelligence. Mind, capital M. It's pure intelligence. Next, an inner movement of this pure intelligence as an idea. Then, the movement of the idea upon substance. The creative medium. And finally, the passing of substance into form. Okay, well, did y'all catch that answer? Well, how about another way? In this sequence, the only self-conscious movement is at the beginning. That's the key. The only self-conscious is at the beginning. I have a conscious thought. I am placing that thought where? Everywhere. Present. Conscious thought. I am the thing itself. Consciously having a thought. That's the beginning. Here's the key. Everything else is automatic. Everything else is automatic, and then everything else is an effect. So I consciously have the thought. From that point on, I'll share some more tidbits in this process, but everything else is automatic. If you could just get that, that takes a lot of pressure off of me, the human Karen, right? Everything else is automatic and everything else is an effect. So even the idea is the effect of the intelligence which creates it, and the form is the result of this idea. And again, the starting point of all creation is pure intelligence. That's who and what we are. So, I love this, and it's in caps. When he does it in caps in the textbook, he's screaming it at us. This is important. Peter would say, do you see? Here it comes. We do not create. We use the power of the one mind, which creates for us. When I have to tell myself all the time, because guess what? I'm like, Karen has to create this. Oh, how in the heck is Karen going to create this? No, I have to remind myself, no. I'm using the power of the thing itself, the whole enchilada, everything it is that knows how to create these galaxies and everything else right down to, I don't know how it creates a rose, it knows how to create it. And so it creates it for us. And I constantly, when I think something's too big to occur, I say, no. I'm in the creative process, creation. Whether it's the vast body of the cosmos or the shirt, well, I don't have one on, I have a jacket. The shirt you have on, it's all part of it, right? It's the effect of the intelligence operating through this law, this principle, this creative medium, whatever we choose to call it. And what this does is it proves, as clear as can be, that there is a power in the universe which knows. How is it proved? Every single time. Look around you. Everything has been using this creative process. Everything. Everything. So there's this law, there's this principle which does, and the creation which Holmes says corresponds. And I like that word a lot. That's a new word for me to sort of play with. It corresponds. Corresponds. Oh, what is that? I had to look it up. Correspond. Because creation doesn't respond, it corresponds. And corresponds means to be similar or equivalent in character, quantity, origin, structure, or function. So it's corresponding to the thought that I have consciously. Wow. I have essentially the best correspondence I could ever want that brings the news, the good news, to me in my life all the time. I'm in partnership with it. And everyone's using it. It's just, do we know how it works? And the more we understand how it works, the more we can work it. Anybody ever decide to take up something new, or want to play the piano, or paint a picture, or be a doctor? Have you ever learned anything? A few of you have. The others, let's talk afterwards. I was reminded of this last night. Think of one of your homework assignments this week is to start writing down everything that you've learned pretty well and now are using in your life. You learned mathematics at one point. You learned addition. You've been using it. Use it right now. What's 1 plus 1? Oh, how did y'all know that? Was there a time where that seemed even challenging? I want you to write down everything that you've learned to do and you've gotten better at it and you're using it more. And sometimes you actually don't even have to think about it because it's so automatic, right? So I want you to know that we can learn how life works and use it in our lives. Because the good news is, too, we do not really create. Again, we're using this creative power that is. And relatively speaking, each of us is a creative power in our own life. And so far as our thought goes, there is something that goes with it. It goes with the thought that has the power to bring forth into manifestation the thing thought of. Wow. I love that thought. And so we don't actually need to know how, completely and fully how this all works. We don't really even have to attempt to fully understand it. We just have to know that whatever this process of creation is, we find that it's like always an inner thought process. And how we hold it, and how we sustain that thought, and how we maintain that. And I'll get to that in a second. And keep this in mind, that Spirit is making all these things out of itself. Whew, that takes a lot off of me. Ernest Holmes, I love this quote. He says, "Everything comes into being without effort." I don't think the rose is struggling to unfold. Everything comes into being without effort. And when we exert ourselves, we are not in accord with the creative spirit and the way in which it works. The impulse of the Spirit to move must be caused by a desire to express what it feels itself to be. It's this desire, beauty, form, color, life, love, power. That's its desire, is to express that. Say it again. Beauty, form, color, life, love, power. It is wanting to express. It desires to express. And all things else we find in the manifest universe are attributes of the Spirit and are caused to spring into being through the Word, because Spirit wants to enjoy itself. So I sometimes say, if you don't want to really know how this works for yourself, want to know how it works for Spirit, so that Spirit can enjoy itself much more. To have that experience of itself through you, through me, through us, right? And I look back on this because it was 2007 when I started hearing first about this thing called the creative process. I was like, what? And I'm telling you, it was so confusing. I didn't know what was up with it. I'm like, I'm never going to learn how to do this. And I had to let that thought go eventually. Homework assignment, write down all the things you've learned how to do, put them into your life, and you're doing them better than when you first started, right? And I think of this. I started with parking spaces. Did y'all? I call it rock star parking. Rock star parking, don't have that parking space right there. And then all of a sudden, there was the parking space. Shit, look at the parking space. It's right here. Now, sometimes I'd start off, rock star parking. Yeah, I'd drive around. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to get that parking space. I knew it. And I had to park way back yonder. But I think of parking spaces. Financial abundance, the most I've ever had during a recession. Finding my soulmate. Having a child in my life to love, nurture, and connect with. Traveling around the world with people I love. Experiencing the awe of nature and taking photographs. And I could tell you my list is so long, from parking spaces to what seems to be big, like finding your soulmate finally at 49. That felt big. You know, just being able to be myself and have freedom. That feels big. But it's been a process of learning how this life works and putting it into practice. So, the great news is we are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we produce? Think of that. You are a chemist in the laboratory of the infinite. There's no limitations to what you can combine, put together in a beaker, and go boom. That's a good place to remember. So, in this creative process and understanding these steps, the 3 steps, there's only 3, is that the first 2 steps are basically instantaneous. I want you to hear this. The first 2 steps in our laboratory are basically instantaneous. The thought, the causal thought, knowing what that is, the causal thought, and then placing. It's such an interesting word because place feels outside me. But so I don't know if it's putting, placing, I don't know. But we'll say placing. Placing the thought in the creative medium, the law, the principle. Boom, it's instantaneous. 3rd step. Is that instantaneous? Well, the thing is now it actually has to grow in the space-time continuum. That's where we live. It has to grow. And so we've got to sort of understand the law of growth. And many times, we're not very patient. I want it now. Wait, I want it now. I said now. And the now is right now, and it's not here. And so this stuff must not work. I'm just going to give up. We want it now, right? We have to cultivate it because we are in the space-time continuum. So let's cultivate that thought. You know, we have to engage with it. And I don't know about you, but where I can tend to go first is I engage with the plan of the how. Well, how this is going to manifest. How? I want to get into the how. Now, how. And so that's just the wrong place for me to go. I stay on the what? The thought, the end result, the thought. And I want to nurture that as it's growing. And not be impatient. And to know, I now just constantly tell myself, this is a delay, not a denial. This is a delay, not a denial. Got that from Michael Beckwith. This is a delay, not a denial. Oh, wow, had to wait 2 years to go to South Africa with some beloveds. It's a delay, not a denial. Last year, all the plans, go see the puffins. Y'all, I know I'm into wildlife, but the puffins and the hide to get really close to little flying. They're this big. They're really little, so you need to get close. Puffins. Had it all planned, drove all the way to Canada, got on, and the day before, canceled. Spent all that money, got out there, Can't get on the island, too many swells. I went, that's a delay, not a denial. Last week at 7 a.m. promptly, like the biggest concert ticket you could, a concert with Lady Gaga or anybody you could imagine, I was at my computer at 7 a.m. Because to get that ticket, they go in like 30 minutes for 3.5 months of going to see the Puffins. And I got my tickets. And I know, and you know what? If the weather's bad and I don't get to go, it's going to be a delay. But now I have more opportunities. I got an opportunity in Scotland now to see the Puffins. See? So it's not limited. I'm in this limitless, I'm a chemist in the laboratory of the infinite. We think, oh, it didn't happen? It's never going to happen. No. I have to be with the process. I have to engage with the process. I can't give up and say I'm never going to see Puffins up close. I keep engaging. The whole point of life is for the intangible being to become and to express, right? It's an infinite being. It's an infinite expression. And it's not, I made a manifestation, here's the manifestation, now it's done. No, life is constantly ongoing, unfolding. And within this rhythm of this constant thing that's unfolding all the time is birth and death, death and birth. Even that is part of it. It's a never-ending, I call it the never-ending eternal gobstopper. So now I'm a chemist with a piece of candy in my mouth, in my laboratory of the infinite. Businesses rise and fall, we've seen it. But that doesn't mean that stops. And it doesn't mean once we have our soulmate, we have to stop manifesting. No. Right? So, the thing itself, how it works, what it does, how we engage with it, well, we can't forget about our theme. It's called emergence, right? So, the thing to do is to plant the seed of the end result. Always the end result. Just forget about every step between here and the end. Plant the seed of the end result. Now, some people come to Petra and me and our practitioners, they say, well, here's what I want treatment for. I want a spiritual mind treatment for. I'm going to be centered no matter what happens. Okay, you can have that. That's great. But there's a whole nother side of the same coin. But what do you want to have happen while you're staying centered no matter what? Give me one end result of something you want. I think the biggest challenge for some of us is to know what we want. And the ones of us who know what we want and go for it, we need to help the ones that really don't know what they want. Spend time. What is the end result of something that you want? What is that end result? And when you have it, stick to it. And please don't spend the time obsessing on the process, the steps, and the how. Just take the next step that you feel drawn to. You don't have to know the next 49. Hold that end result. Stick to it no matter what. And if the thing is, well, it's not here now, it must be something wrong with my consciousness. I want you to hear my voice and say, shut that up. There's nothing wrong with your consciousness because what is there? Is there anything wrong with the infinite mind? Consciousness itself? Well, that's who we are. We're the thing itself. So, and if we see it in nature, if there's a storm and the branch falls off, okay, the tree's not dead, it's still growing, it's still emerging. We keep going. Stick to the end result. The end result. Let it unfold. Let it emerge. Right? Let it emerge. And so that brings in the law of growth. Now with Petra's help, we can call it the principle of growth. The law of growth. Ernest Holmes tells us how to help this emerge, to allow it to grow, to invite it to grow. He says, if we have a strong picture, not my brain, this is inside of all of me. If we have a strong picture or mental concept of what we desire, end result, and hold to that mental equivalent regardless of circumstances or conditions. So no matter what comes up, no matter what roadblock, no matter what throws you off your road, no matter if the puffin trip gets canceled, whatever it is, right? Regardless of the circumstances or conditions, we must sooner or later manifest according to the concept. So as long as we hold the end result in time through this process, the evolution, the principle, there comes a moment of birth, meaning there comes a moment where it comes into the physical form in our life. Because that's the way this stuff works. That's the nature of life itself. That's the law, the principle of creation. We're using it. So hold it. Hold the end result no matter what comes up. There may be times you don't want to share your end result with anyone. Please don't share it with the naysayers in your life. Here's this. I'm going to win a contest with the puffin picture, right? That I take. I didn't even have to say where. Whatever, I'm making this up right now, but, the end result. I'm the grand winner of a photographic contest with a puffin. I don't have to say by 11:18 a.m. taken on the island in Canada, right? I just the end result. If that's what I want and that's the end result, and no matter what, the camera could break, I run out of money, universe, don't listen. And, whatever. You see? I don't care what it is. Now I can't fly. I have no idea. I just know that's the end result. And I'm not going to tell a lot of people other than y'all about it. But don't tell your naysayers in your life that's going to say that's never going to happen. Keep it to yourself. And the truth is, this law of growth, it's all inherent. You can't stop yourself. You can't stop it. You can't stop the things. You can't stop your life from growing. We can't, no more than we can stop the seed from growing. We can do that a little bit, can't we? There is one way you could stop a seed from growing, isn't there? Yeah, dig it up, right? Dig it up, throw it away, stomp on it, squish it, throw it, wrap it in tin foil so it could never happen even if it's made it through the garbage again, So there are some ways. So the key is we're not going to stand over the seed and go, grow. Come on, grow. You're not growing. What's wrong with you? You're not a good seed. We're not going to say, sunflower seed, okay, I planted. You're not growing because you don't have 2 stripes. You wouldn't do that. Doesn't matter who we are, our background, who we come from, what our race, it doesn't matter. We're not going to stand over and go, well, you're not good enough. That's why it's not growing. And we're not going to go impatient and go, grow. We're going to plant the seed and we're going to nurture it. And then, man, all of a sudden, it feels like all of a sudden we have a sunflower plant, right? And in the meantime, we hold the intention of sunflower plant. Hold it, no matter what. Hold the intention. Ernest Holmes tells us that this creative process that we use is like a mirror. So we're going to hold the intention. We're going to hold up the image within our whole self. We're going to hold that object inside ourselves, just like we hold an object in front of a mirror. And it will, this image in the mirror, image back the exact same size of what we put in front of it, doesn't it? Right? We hold a thought in our mind, we hold a thought in our whole being, and it will image back into matter the exact likeness of the thought. And we got to hold it there, this image. And we have to hold it there with faith and expectancy, with enthusiastic conviction. How's your enthusiastic conviction? And with undying trust. We must trust this process. We must trust the universe. We hold it in front of the mirror the whole time. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Maybe you do need to ask someone that you do trust to hold it with you. Will you hold this image with me until it actually occurs? I'm holding it in front of the mirror because the only thing that can hinder this process is you. Because it is you who reflects the image in the mirror. You're the only one that can hold this image until it shows itself. Don't let go of your dream. Don't let go of your end result. And by the way, you don't have to just have one going at the same time. How many do you want? We're in this limitless laboratory of the infinite. We're chemists playing in this laboratory. Right? So this is how we cultivate it. This is how we fertilize it. We hold it with enthusiastic conviction. But here's the rub. I said the one person that could get in the way is you. We cannot make affirmations and denials for 15 minutes and spend the other 23 hours and 45 minutes denying the thing that we have affirmed and affirming the thing that we have denied and obtain the results we seek. We've got to send out the word, and it sets in motion the power. But if we begin to think the opposite thing, it gets the word as soon as it is the thought. It'll neutralize it. So hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And when you see it start to grow and start to emerge, move in that direction. All right? And the great news is all of this is already inherent. So to wrap all of this up, I love this quote by Holmes that says, could we but comprehend the fact that there is a power that makes things directly out of itself by simply becoming the thing it makes. Could we but grasp this greatest truth about life and realize that we are dealing with a principle, scientifically correct and eternally present, we could accomplish whatever it is possible for us to conceive. Life externalizes on the level of our thought. This is where thy will be done lives, breathes, and moves. It's thy will. I have the thought, I hold the thought, I don't let anything come in between me, no matter the situation, the circumstances. I hold it with enthusiastic conviction and faith and trust, because I know that this is the way it works, and by doing that, it must be made manifest. Because this is the way life works. This is the way it is. And we can absolutely learn how to put it into practice and use in our lives, because we already have. And so it is.
Beautiful words by Reverend Karen Fry. Now to start our offering and announcement. Now it's time to support our community. Please give generously. As we move into 2023, we invite you to give generously to the work of CSL Dallas, knowing that as you give, the law of circulation multiplies that gift to you, and to do so many others. Let's begin by affirming our abundance together. I see the divine everything. I have confidence in the future, enthusiastic expectation of good things to come. I know CSL Dallas is prospering, thriving, and attracting its highest good. Our community is blessed and a blessing. As we stand, the work works for everyone. So it is. So many ways to give. Text, QR code, PayPal, auto tithe here are in the basket. See all the options posted on the slide on your screen. Now, I have a question for y'all. Does anyone in the room like action movies? Yeah. Okay, y'all like action movies? Well, I like action movies too. My favorite parts about action movies are definitely the parts where the guy flicks someone and there's an explosion and people go everywhere. But there's something way cooler going on next Saturday here with Mr. Malcolm Austin. He's going to be prepare yourself for physically and mentally for any opponent, including your own inner opponent, self-sabotage thinking. Instructor Malcolm Austin teaches basic self-defense ideas and strategies and incorporates mindfulness exercises to show you the true power that lies within you. Register through the events calendar on csldallas.org. Practitioners are standing by for spiritual support here at our campus and online. For those who are here on campus, please join them by visiting our Pankey Hall across the breezeway. And for those online, a Zoom link is being posted now. Now let's come together by joining the music team in our closing song. Thank you.